you go, ladies and gentlemen. Robbie Coltrane. Now, I have to share a little thought with you now, because one of the good things about being in your late-ish 20s, which is what I am, is that your party-going diminishes. I'm not talking about the kind of social gatherings where you bore each other stupid for 3 hours and then go off home on your own. I'm talking about parties. The most loathsome recreational idea invented by humanity. You always think you're going to enjoy them, and then you hate them. They're like cream eggs, you know? You think, oh, I really fancy that one, and just as then your teeth start to ache as you dip your tongue into the cream and lick it out and the shell fills up with spit, you know you shouldn't have done that. Parties are the same. You're sat at home trying to get everything prepared. Oh, is everything right? The carpet's been rolled up, and I've got the punch done. Punch, incidentally, is a party translation for a bowl full of flat lemonade with a couple of bits of orange peel floating in it. And you've got your bowl of cheesy nibbles ready, and the cheesy nibbles are there so that the party farty can do his great joke about going up to girls and saying, hello, do you want a cheesy nibble? Brilliant stuff, farty. No, the party farty's an interesting fellow. At every party, he's a bloke with the 3 cans of pale ale that he's got like that, and he's bought them, and he's not going to let them go, and he walks around all evening with them because he doesn't see why he should pay for anybody else to get drunk. No. You find people hanging on to their booze at parties, always hanging on, the small-minded people, petty people, hanging on, carrying it round. I hide mine myself, you see. Yeah. It's a good idea is in a saddlebag of the bike in the hall. Most people don't look there, right? Anyway, so you're back there, you've got everything prepared, you're waiting for the party, and this irrational fear creeps over you. Captain Paranoia jumps onto your shoulder, and an irrational fear creeps over you that no one will come. Suddenly you become obsessed that no one will come. Mind you, 5 hours later, when you've got a rubber Johnny hanging off your yucca plant and there's a puddle of red wine vomit on your duvet, you wish nobody had come. But just for the moment, you're thinking, oh, God, nobody's going to come. The interesting thing is that out in the street, there's 40 people sitting in cars worried that they'll be the first to arrive. There is a deadlock, but of course it can be broken because the first to arrive is always the party farty. Hello, I'm not early, am I? This is 9:30 in the morning. The thing about the party farty, ladies and gentlemen, is he's the first to arrive and the last to leave after he has tried to get off with every single girl at the party. Slowly but surely, starting with the ones he fancies and ending up just trying to get off with it. By the time everyone else has gone, he's sitting in the sitting room on his own, casually eyeing up your flatmate's hamster. Sidles have a go, no, I really do like your fur. I'm not just saying that, I think it's great fur. I really do love it. So there you are, back there, waiting for people to come. It's 9 o'clock, you've been chatting to Farty for 14 hours, and you've got 2 hours to go, because at 11, when the pub's closed, that's when the flood, that's when the house is suddenly chock-a-block. That's when every room is full. Well, not every room. There is one empty room. The party empty room. Another word for it is the bopping room. You see? There's a completely empty room, which is there, so lots and lots of girls can wander around going, why isn't anyone bopping? Everyone's being really boring. Why isn't anybody bopping? Why doesn't people start the bopping? Why aren't people starting to bopping? We'll start the flipping bopping then. But everywhere else is totally chock-a-block. The kitchen, the stairs, especially the stairs. This is the most crowded part of any party. This is partly because people like to sit there and say, God, I'm so depressed, no one's ever been as depressed as me. But also because they like to have a queue on the stairs, you see. That is the queue for the loo, you see. That's the queue, and it's been there for about 2 hours already, and people are getting really, really annoyed. No one can get down the stairs or up the stairs. If there was a fire, they'd have had it. Mind you, if there was a fire, of course, the queue's been there so long, they'd probably put it out on their own, you know? Nobody can understand why the queue's not moving. Everybody's going, why doesn't the queue move? Why doesn't the queue move? What are they doing in there? What's he doing in there? What's going on? It's so inconsiderate. It's so antisocial. It's just not communist, is it? No. Now, the point is, finally, somebody at the front has a little bit of courage and taps on the door, and then knocks on the door, wiggles the handle, and a terrible truth is discovered. There was no one in the bulk in the first place. The door had been closed, and no one had the guts to wiggle the handle. I'll tell you another reason people won't go in the toilet, apart from the fact that they're stuck on the stairs having discussions about how depressed they are. And have you read this poem? It's really good, I wrote it. But the real reason that people don't go in the toilet is because really they're scared, because they don't know what they will find in there. I don't mean in the toilet, I mean in the bathroom area. Because party toilets are hell, ladies and gentlemen. They are Hades' Valhalla. They're like downtown Beirut with toothbrushes. Total degradation. People become animals, you know, if you're having a party. God, empty the bathroom, get rid of the toothpaste, get rid of the aftershave, get the bits of carpet up. If you're stupid enough to have bits of carpet in your bathroom, you know, like the bits of carpet they have on top of the toilets, you know, which I've mentioned before. And what I mean is the ones running out of material, show 6, we're beginning to cook. But those bits of paper, what am I talking about? These teeth have been borrowed from the producers. Thank you, Jim Davidson. Those bits of carpet they have around the toilet. Back on script, we're okay. Those bits of carpet they have around the toilet. They're a U-shaped bit of carpet that they have. Now, we all know what it's there for. It is there to soak up wee. It has no other purpose. It is a tittle blanket can serve no other purpose. If it had another purpose, like keeping your feet warm, they'd have carpeted the rest of the bathroom, wouldn't they? But no, just round the toilet. Well, that's the only place for people wee, isn't it? I don't care if it's pink and bobbly and Granny's got one with pictures of Peter Rabbit on it. It's all nice and fluffy. It is a wee rag. I mean, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, we all know men drip. Not a bad piss, that. I got some in the bowl. Now, some men drip, and some men go... There's a dry bit. Be honest. Somebody drunk has been that person. But I have some sympathy for the sprayers at parties because there is a certain type of toilet that is normally at a party to be found. And that is the brilliantly designed toilet, that marvellous, marvellous invention that's got that great seat that when you lift the lid, 10 seconds later it bangs back down on your knob. Just when you started to go, you know what I mean? Just when you can't stop, when you can't retract, bang, on the windows, on the mirror in the bar. And that's why people don't want to go in. Scared. Scared to wade through it. Going to the toilet in a party is like paddling in the North Sea, right, on Prince Charles. Keep at it. Anyway, so, the other room to avoid is the coats room. If you're having a party, avoid the coat. We all know what the coats room translates as the snoggy, gropey room, mate. There's a room full of coats in here. Yes, you see, the coats room. If you're having a party, do not let your room be used as a coats room. Because not unless 2 weeks later you want to lift up an old donkey jacket and find a very nervous couple still trying to work out how to use a condom underneath. And if you go to a party, do not put your coat in the coats room unless when you get home and you reach in your pocket for your keys, you don't want to fish out something extremely unpleasant. So, I mean, I think it's true. You know, this is true. Well, no, it's not true. Actually, I made this up. I made the whole thing up. But it's kind of sort of true in a way, in a kind of genre way. Anyway, I went upstairs. I've blown it now. Well, I'm telling the truth, man. Wow, it's good stuff. But anyway, there I was, and there was a couple making out on top of the pile of coats, and I wanted to get my coat out. And the etiquette's very difficult, and he said, what do you say? You know, there's no book of etiquette what to do, you know. I didn't want to dampen their passion, you know. On the other hand, I didn't want them to dampen my bomber jacket, you know. So I went in, I went downstairs and had a glass of Concord British wine, which is the last bottle left at a party, believe me. So, the final thing, whatever happens to you, ladies and gentlemen, be you in the coat room or in the toilet or stuck on the chairs at a party, if you're the host, you know it is over. When somebody comes up to you, the party is winding down, when someone comes up and says, look, I've cleaned it all up and I think it's okay. Which roughly translates as your stereo is entirely full of a particularly runny form of vomit, but I've wiped the lid, all right? At which point, if you're running a party, you say the last bit of party code, which is, does anyone want coffee? Which means, naff off everyone! I'm gonna